to people, we got hot phones and we got people in the studio. Best Show 24 just don't stop. It just don't stop. Kind of like Rudy Rudiger with security fraud. He just couldn't stop. I'm like that. I'm the Rudy Rudiger of that, because you can't stop me. Hello, Best Show.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, who's this?
Hello, this is John Oliver calling.
It's John Oliver. Hold on 1 second, John Oliver. I need to play this.
Famous person on the line. Famous person on the line.
Here we go! Here we go! That's right. We've got a famous person on the line. Wow. The one and only John Oliver calling up. John, how are you?
I'm all the better for that. I appreciate you setting up a kind of audio class system.
Yes.
For the callers that come through.
We really want people to feel bad who don't get that.
That's right. Short of actually making up a sting that says peasant, you really couldn't give people a sense of where they stand in the pecking order more.
Yes. And it's such a great feeling when you just don't get that. It's like when it must have been like being on the Tonight Show and Johnny didn't wave you over.
Exactly. That's right. He's moving his hand up. Oh, no, he's just saying stay there.
Yeah.
It's a single finger. He's saying stay where you are.
You are not that good. Halt. Johnny's waving me over. Wait, no, he's saying halt. Okay, I'll leave.
That's right.
He's moving his hand back to say get out of here. Hand. Yeah. He's actually gesturing.
Shooed.
Go away. He's shooing me away.
Shooing further away. Please, 5 feet further away.
He's saying get off my set. Now, John Oliver, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you? Happy nearly. Well, you're over the halfway point now.
We are over the halfway.
The New York Marathon. You're over the Pulaski Bridge.
If this was the New York Marathon, well, if this was the New York Marathon, I would be at home saying like, the New York Marathon was today. How about that? Not realizing that it happened.
If you were running it, you'd have just crossed the Pulaski Bridge and you'd be getting yelled at by people in Brooklyn.
Yes. The people, who are just, they're just mad that this thing is happening and it's kind of clogging up. Yeah. What's the closest you've ever come to running a marathon, John Oliver?
I mean, not close. I mean, I've never thought about it. So I guess that's instantly pretty far away. In the hypothetical Johnny Carson version of running a marathon, I've shooed myself away from the stage.
Sure, because I would get.
There's no curiosity in me.
Yeah, there's no. You're just not like, I wonder what that must feel like.
Oh, no, that's never crossed my mind because I think I know what that would feel like.
Yeah, terrible.
And it is painful and pointless.
Yeah. John, I set a goal for myself last year where I was like, September was turning into October, and I was like, I need to do something to prove to myself some sort of challenge for myself. So what did I decide to do? I decided to walk 1 million steps before New Year's Day. I had 3 months.
Okay.
I figured the math out. It was completely doable. I immediately fell behind, which meant now I was walking 8 miles a day just to catch up. But John, I dug deep, and on New Year's Eve, I got to that 1 millionth step, and I never felt as great as I did. And then, but here's the way that story ends. On January 4th, I went to a Coffee Bean, and they got my order at the drive-thru. They got my order wrong. I pull over in the parking lot, walk in to go say, hey, you got my coffee order wrong. And I trip on the curb outside there and immediately hurt my foot so badly that it's still not right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that's the lesson I learned about physical fitness.
Yeah, you can challenge your body, but your body is going to challenge you justifiably back and say, sure, you did that to me. Look what I'm doing to you.
Yeah. Saying like, Tom, what are we doing here? What do you think? Where do you really think this is? What do you think you're going to start? Like, now you start running. Oh, I did the walking. Now I can run. It's like, no, we're going to.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's your body very wisely saying, let's nip this in the bud.
Yeah.
I'm going to slam your toe into the curb outside a coffee bean. And then we're going to go back to what we are.
Yeah.
Okay? Not what we want to be.
My body immediately took any physical fitness off the table, saying, oh, you might see where you were going to go further. I'm taking walking off the table.
That's right. And if this is a negotiation, we're each going to retreat to our corners here. Let's meet back in the middle where we've been up to this point in our life together.
Now, John, you just started the new season of your show.
Have I?
I believe so, right? I'm 1 week behind. Was there a new episode this past week?
Oh yeah. I don't really think about it as being a season in the middle of the year. I guess I think about it as being we come back at the start of the year, we work all year, we go away again. I don't really think about a season. I feel like I'm halfway through right now.
So you look at it as that you're in some sort of never-ending void, and it's like lost in space, basically.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
And you're trying to find anything that points to a way out.
That's right.
And
if that's an air hatch, so be it.
If that's it, yes. And suddenly like, hey, I think this might be the way out. Oh no, there goes all the oxygen. Well, we tried.
Yep. It's not the way out I was looking for, but it's definitely a way out. It ends here.
Yes. It's like, yeah, well, I guess we're done here. And by done, I mean we're dead. We died.
I'll try and close the door behind me as I'm sucked out into the void.
How do you still, and look, I know this is a rhetorical question in some way. It's like, I don't know how you don't jump off a roof.
Yeah. I mean, there is that. I will say you're asking that question as a man who is 13 hours into a 24-hour call-in show.
Yeah.
So I think right? You get your head down and you keep going.
Yeah. It is.
But where were you at 500,000 steps, right?
Yeah.
Keep walking.
You just keep going.
Knowing that your victory will be a rearranged toe.
Yeah. And I guess for me, 2020 was kind of like, the election was me getting the million steps, and then the rest of it was me tripping in the parking lot of the Coffee Bean.
That's exactly right.
It's like, wait, I thought we were good now.
Especially with a Biden presidency.
Yeah.
You knew deep down that was going to be you buckled over outside a Coffee Bean going, I should have expected this.
Yeah.
But it is who the man is.
Yeah, exactly. And I love one of the funniest things is how like people on the right are always like, hey, Biden sucks. It's like, oh, what? He does? Like, hold on a second. You think Joe Biden sucks? It's like, nobody wanted him.
Not my North Star.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You take that. That's my hero. How dare you? You've crossed a line now. He's the greatest. Now I like that when things are getting really bad, he says to himself, you know what'll fix everything? I'm going to invite James Corden to come by and do a skit in my office. Like, it's like 2 days after Roe v. Wade is getting overturned. At least I don't know exactly the timeline. The heads up was well established that this is coming. And he's just like, we got to get one of these late night guys to do a skit in here. That'll right the ship.
Oh, there's nothing I love more than politicians doing skits.
Oh.
I love it for everybody involved.
Yeah.
The politician and the person on the other end. What are both of you doing here?
No, and it's the idea that like no one wants this. Also, has there ever been one politician doing a skit? And they are skits. I know, like, if you talk to somebody on SNL, they're like, hey, we do sketches here, not skits. It's like, sometimes you do skits.
No, you don't.
You do a fair amount of skits also.
Every now and then you throw out a skit every now and then.
Those are skits.
The thing that your parent talks about on the phone. That's what you're doing.
Those were skits. Some are sketches. Some are most definitely skits. But like, there's never been one where you're just like, wow, that was great. That guy,
never. It ruins it. Ruins it. On SNL, you can watch a sketch in real time become a skit. You can start. With Amy Poehler doing Hillary Clinton. That's a sketch. The moment Hillary Clinton walks onto that stage, it's skit time.
When
there's been a transition.
When the real person ambles out with the crowd cheering, and then they slow down the way like Henry Winkler used to have to do on Happy Days when the audience was cheering, and he's standing in the doorway of the Cunningham's house, who's at the door? They open the door and Fonzie's there, and he stands there for 20 seconds waiting for the audience to calm down. Like, there's that moment that I got to watch the politician walk out, plant themselves, wait for the audience to get over the, oh my God, they're actually here moment. And then the biggest giveaway, John, is when the politician, when you see them do that first inhale to like do their first line, like they go, well, actually I'm on the, and you're like, oh, that inhale is the biggest betrayal of where we're at with this. Now, you like the Mets, right? That's your team. Who are your teams in New York? You're a Mets. Are you do you like all the ETS teams? Jets, Mets, Nets?
No. I like the Mets and I like the Knicks.
Okay.
And sure, I like the Jets fine.
Sure. Because I grew up a Knicks fan. That's been working really well for me. Hearing my parents talk about the two championships, that also in the greatest spirit of New Yorkers, it's taking a thing and rhapsodizing about it until everyone is nauseous. To just, Willis Reed, he got hurt and then he comes out down through the tunnel. It's like, no, I know the story. I know, nobody but New Yorkers can run a story into the ground through self-mythologizing, for sure. Like blackout, like when there was a blackout. It's like, oh, there's no power. And then the bodegas were passing out the ice cream because it wouldn't melt, and we were all having a party on the roof, and everybody's just dancing and listening. It's like, yeah, but I was in New Jersey, and the blackout was for 10 days in New Jersey. You had a blackout for 1 day, and you're painting this as if it's just some magical story. I was living out of a cooler. I had a cooler on my porch that had all my food in it.
It's true.
I was trying to just
By the time I got to the bottom of the ice cream, the lights were back on. Anyway.
Yeah. But it's like, hey, what's going on in New Jersey? Who cares? I had 9.5 more days of blackout to go. Being like, oh, I think this, I'm not sure if this cheese is good anymore. It was, this cooler's not doing the trick. How many more days is this blackout? Who knows before the power comes back on. But then New York, it's like, yeah, we had the blackout. Something else. Now that's the magic of New York. And you are now an official New Yorker, too. Look, I can feel my brain slipping a little bit, John. I am going to admit to that.
I love it. I absolutely love witnessing this in real time. Because you're right, it is slipping a bit.
Yeah.
There are times.
Thank you. There's times when the thoughts.
Got a nice tight grip.
They're not connecting exactly the way they should. Like they're very close, but they're just not.
Sure.
It's just not as seamless as it usually is. There's a little bit
Not
of
every run that Dizzy Gillespie went on would have been perfect if he'd been playing for 13 hours.
Yeah,
It would have been pretty good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You're saying I'm the Dizzy Gillespie of marathon radio podcast, whatever. I guess
I'm saying you're the Dizzy Gillespie at 13 hours of Dizzy Gillespie playing. That's what you are.
Again,
which is still good.
It's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me, and from your lips to God's ears. That's all I can say to that.
I got to say, Tom, in my mind, you have set a new bar for what people releasing paperbacks should be required to do.
Yeah.
I think a 24-hour call-in is the minimum requirement if you're going to have a paperback. I don't want to see another paperback from James Patterson. I don't want to unless that comes with him being stuck on Twitch for a full waking day and night. Yeah.
Sue Grafton, I don't want to see...
Not interested.
Yeah. S is for seduction. When that comes in paperback, 24 hours or it does not get published.
That's right. You're not getting it. You're staying in hardback. You want the paperback? Sit down in a chair and take calls for 24 straight hours. That's the new barrier of entry.
Yeah, thank you. That I think we're going to see a lot more trees, because a lot less paperbacks.
Everyone is trying to work out, right? How do we change behavior? This is it.
This is how we do.
Enough vanity projects as books. There must be a physical cost. It's like, returning a real physical cost to the filibuster. The same has to be the case with releasing paperback books. John,
this is a special moment for the publishing industry. It's a special moment for ecology. Yeah. I think we just solved global warming, actually, with this.
I think we've punched it in the side. I don't know if it's dropped yet, but you've landed a blow.
You're on. You're on. See, I can't put the words together. Oh no, this is not good. I know you love it.
I love it.
I also love it. That's the worst part of this. I feel like I'm in Awakenings or something. I feel like I'm when Robert De Niro starts to drift back into that state is what I feel like I'm doing.
Yeah. Or it's like watching any of those free climbing documentaries, and you're just watching a hand reach out for a piece of rock, and you think it's not that one. Out it comes, crash into the floor, and you think, "Oh, he nearly fell."
Yeah, that's me right now, trying to find the rock to grab, and sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm not even on a mountain right now. Well,
yeah, this is where it gets good. You've been very good for 13 hours. Very good. This is where it gets great. This is where you find out who you are at your core.
Yeah, this is truly where the magic begins. And John, thank you so much. I appreciate you checking in and being a part of the show today. And
pleasure.
You are always the best, and I appreciate it. And thank you for everything you do for us. Again, that sentence did not seem entirely correct. I think I shifted from me to us at a point. I don't know exactly. Yep. Yeah. And on that note,
It had the form of a coherent sentence, Tom.
Yes.
The form of it. It just didn't have the content.
With yes, exactly. But there are some definite flaws in the execution. John, thank you so much. I'll talk to you very soon. I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.